All right, everybody, what's going down? It is your man, DJ Real One, and I am back in the building with episode 3 of Belgian Beer and Beats. I don't even have to tell you what that's all about. So, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you very much. And for anyone that's watched a previous YouTube episode of the Belgian Beer and Beat series, much gratitude for real, man. Two passions, the Belgian beer and the records and the beats. So thank you if you enjoy these things as much as I do. So with that being said, today we have something very special to ring in the new year. This right here is a very expensive, pricey bottle, coming in at $42 US dollars, that is. I'm sure it's cheaper in Belgium. Okay, so this is the Gulden Draak Cuveé Prestige Laphroaig. Now, if you know about Laphroaig, if you're watching this and you're a Scotch drinker, then you know what time it is, because this specific beer has been aged for about 8 weeks in selected Laphroaig barrels. Now, these barrels are straight from Scotland, from a Scottish distillery on the island of Islay. Scotch people, you know what time it is, man. But we are not here to drink Scotch. We are here for the Laphroaig barrel aged strong ale. Now, I saw some people online that were calling this they were calling it a barley wine. Now, I wouldn't go that far to call it a barley wine, because it's still a Belgium dark ale, no matter what's inside of it or where it was aged. Now, recently in the Belgian beer scene, they have been aging. Um, they've been aging the beer in barrels. So this was an excellent bottle that I had before I started doing these videos. I wish I would have bought more of these, because this one is one of my favorites. This Delirium barrel aged, excellent. What I'd like to recommend is, I think it's nice if you have the money and can afford to do it. I highly recommend to buy usually 2 bottles. Now, why? Why do you do that? Because you can have 1 bottle this year and 1 bottle next year. Now, this specific bottle here is from 2022. That's when it was released. And I had one last year. Actually, I believe this was released in 2023. So this has been aging for about a year and a half before drinking it. Now, the thing that's nice about a Belgian beer is it's similar to a wine almost. And what I want to talk about is how Belgium is in the middle of Germany and France. So you get some of the hops in the middle there from the German region, and you have a lot of the kind of winemaking techniques from France. So there's not as many rules in Belgium. So you come up with some amazing beers, man. But it's time, people. It is time to open this fine bottle. So let's get into it. I've had this before. They didn't really label the bottle. They just kind of put this piece of paper on here like that. So you got that paper on there, and they put a little sticky thing on there. As you can see, this is my second bottle. I bought 2 of them. I had one when it came out. So when you open it, this thing has to come off, and then you're going to twist it. So let's get ready, man. This is going to be very nice. Okay, now before we open this, I have to talk about the glassware. Now, Gulden Draak does have their exclusive glassware. They used to have a tulip glass. Now they have a different shaped glass. But before I was getting ready to film this episode, I looked high and low and I could not find my glass. I recently moved and it may be lost. It may have gotten broken. So what I had to do is pull out a very special glass. This is the Duvel Beer Snifter. Now, this is a fine glass, man. Now the thing about this glass, the reason I chose this one as opposed to a tulip, it does have a tulip shape, but when Duvel released this glass, it was around the time when they came out with I believe it was a Duvel Irish whiskey. It was a Duvel aged in Irish whiskey barrels. And they also had a Duvel aged in Jamaican rum barrels. Those beers were okay. I wouldn't say they were outstanding, but it came with this glass, and that is what I'm using today. So, before y'all give me a hard time, man, my Belgian heads, my German heads, man, my people around the world, do not grill me, man. I know that each beer has its glass, but this snifter is an excellent glass for this type of beer, and the reason for that is because this is a barrel-aged Laphroaig beer. So this is going to help bring out those scents and flavors, kind of like a Scotch or a bourbon. So Scotch, bourbon heads, Belgian beer heads, welcome to the show, man. Let's get this party started, man. And now it is time to pour it up. Let's get it.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks. And live life long, life long, life long, life
I haven't even put this to my nose yet, and I can already smell the aromas. It's very strong. Wow. Right off the bat, man, I'm getting a lot of smoke. Who wants to smoke, man? This thing is full of smoke. It's very, I don't want to say charcoal, but very smoky. That's the first thing I'm getting right there. This is probably the most unique smell that aroma that I've gotten in any of these Belgian beers. It's excellent. So let's go ahead and try it out and see how it tastes. And then we'll get to the beat, man. Because once I try the beer, I'm going to try to match up a beat today. Let's go. Okay, wow. That is harsh. That's how I can describe that. It's kind of, wow, it's very powerful. Like I said, it had the smoke smell, and then when you taste it, you get that smoke flavor. This might be a great beer for someone who drinks a lot of scotch. Like I said, this is very hard to find though. There are only 9,162 bottles made, and I have already had, well, I'm having another one. I've already had two. So the rest of them, 9,160 left. Go find one, and the foam kind of dies down very fast, you know. So let me get another taste of that. I'll tell you, this snifter really is an excellent glass to bring out the flavor. I'm not sure how I feel about it though. Definitely one of the most unique beers I've ever had. You get that peat taste that you might taste in Scotch. It tastes like a cask kind of strength. There's a slight caramel. It's very strong. I wouldn't call it like a stout, but it's kind of stouty, but not really. Very malty. Wow. I'm trying to see what's in there, man. But, you know, we're going to let it warm up a little bit. As stated in previous episodes, you got to let this warm up to a certain temperature. And on here, I guess I would say probably about, once again, about 54 degrees. This particular beer is 10.5% ABV. So that's very strong. As always, they all are. I forgot to mention that this particular beer was aged in a barrel that was originally used by the Jim Beam bourbon distillery. And then, as you know, for Scotch, they moved those barrels to Scotland. And the second use was in a Scottish distillery, Laphroaig. So, with that being said, let's get into the beat and then we'll come back to the beer. So, for today's beat, for today's musical production, we are going to do an original beat because this beer is so unique and so original that I gotta pair it with something new. I can't just throw one of my old songs on there. So if you're new to the episode, the previous episodes, I had some of my music that I produced. And for this episode, we're just going to come up with something new. So let's go ahead and get to the MPC.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks. And live life long, life long, life long, life long, life long.
We got the beat. Hopefully y'all feeling me with the music. We got the records behind us. We're about to grab one and just go over it real quick and talk about it, man. Let's go. Come on, man. When you pair a good beer like this, it's got to have something special, something original. So let's go ahead and pull out the Beastie Boys Hello Nasty, man. Y'all remember this, man? Rest in peace, MCA, by the way. Now, Hello Nasty, this is the original pressing. I don't even know if they repressed this, but this is a really badass vinyl, man. I remember when this came out, the sound was just so unique and so original. So this kind of pairs well with this beer, man. Like, look at that, man. They had them in a little sardine can right there. You know what I'm saying? And I believe this is colored vinyl. So you guys got to understand, this is before the color vinyl craze. This is when DJs still were spinning on vinyl. So when I bought this, I was shocked to see that it was on colored wax. So check that out. Now, if you remember what songs were on here, the big smash off of this one was definitely Intergalactic. They had 3 MCs and 1 DJ. This is, I believe this is the first album with Mixmaster Mike. I'm not positive, but I think he was their DJ at the time, and then he just went in on that track. The 3 MCs and 1 DJ. That was my joint right there, man. Oh, Body Moving. So there is your Body Moving remix. Who did the remix on here? Cutmaster Kurt did the remix on that one. And of course, how can I forget Alive, man? That was the joint. This is the Alive joint. This is dope, man, because this one has a remix by Evidence of Dilated People. So these are some nice records right here, man. Classic material. That's just how we do it, man. Nothing but classics in here, man. There's a couple that aren't classics, but they're still dope. There it is, the Beastie Boys Hello Nasty. Put that right here for now in the sardine can. And let's try this one more time before we head out. I have to try it multiple times in the video because as it warms up, the flavor definitely changes. It's not as pungent and powerful as it warms up because now I'm still getting that peat and that smoke flavor. This is probably, they do make smoked beers, but this one is a special smoke. It's not terrible. That taste is very pronounced. Very pronounced. Okay, so we just popped open a bottle of the Gulden Draak Cuveé Prestige Laphroaig Barrel Aged Strong Ale from the Brouwerij Van Steenberg of Ertvelde, Belgium. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Once again, I'm not an expert in Flemish. I'm not an expert in beer. I am not an expert on anything. I'm just passionate about this thing we like to call Belgian beer. With that being said, I would like to rate this beer now, and it's not really my favorite. I'll just be honest with you. It is definitely one of the most unique beers I've had. So, with that being said, I will have to give it about a 4 out of 5. And now, if you're a fan of Belgian beer and you cannot find this one, Gulden Draak makes several other beers. I believe they have 5 right off the bat that I know of. They have the Classic, which is a triple. They have the 9000, which is a quad. They have the Brewmaster Edition, which I have not tried yet. Of course, they make an Imperial Stout. And apparently, they make a smoked version. I cannot imagine anything more smoky than this. But if you're adventurous, try the Gulden Draak smoked version. And if you see bottles in your store from Pirat, go ahead and grab that as well, because they make those too. Now, many of these beers have won World Beer Awards, which is very normal from Belgian beers. And this one is no exception. I'm not sure if it won awards, but it is definitely one of the most unique beers. So, with that being said, thank you for checking out the show. Cheers, y'all, and I am out.
We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. And live